Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Actually Though. We still don't have an intro, we still don't have an outro, but Marley is working on one as we speak. Just a disclaimer, there will be some coarse language and there may or may not be some sexual references. So if that offends you, I'm sorry, but this podcast is not for you.
Hey.
How have you been?
and I have to say there'll probably be talk of sexual nature. Well, of course, because what's Nelle thinking about, boys?
Yeah, Nelly's weekly, fortnightly, however much we've been doing. So we haven't been.
No, well, we had a couple of
the last 2 weeks.
No, we've been stuff has been happening. I can't remember the conversation that I wanted to have last time about it, because I asked someone what's been your the weirdest or the crappiest moment that you've had on the dating apps, and he actually told me that his identity was stolen by someone, and he didn't go into it too much, and I'm like, you know what, that's really creepy. But then it makes me wonder, how much information did you give this chick or this person? Like this chick, like how can you? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, honestly, catfishing is so fucking cringe. Hey, like,
no, it is.
I really don't get that mentality to keep that going.
No.
Like, even if you're doing it like as a revenge thing, but even then it's like, oh, just move on.
Yeah. And then
so
many answers. It's like, oh, we dated for a bit and then they just, they stalked me, and I'm like, what the hell? You people are crazy. I've not had any of that.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm okay with that. But yeah.
That's so strange. Oh, you get some weirdos, hey?
Yeah.
From both sexes, as it appears.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, a lot of what the males get a lot are like bots and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you know what? I read about this. It's because with dating apps and sites, there's like the ratio of men to women is like crazy. There are way more men.
Yeah.
So
that makes
for
sense.
that reason, there are bots. And they do that to kind of make the men, like, they'll come and slide into the DMs and that, and make the men feel like, oh, there is heaps of fish in the sea.
I feel like really
the pool
horrible.
Is quite small.
That is
It is
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
no.
So I believe that 100% that there are bots. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I met that one dude that I don't want to give too much away, because in case it goes good.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to say this to you earlier today, whether or not you feel like you should be updating on anyone that's current.
No, I don't think so.
Because in case it goes really good, like, you don't want them getting angry that you've been talking about them.
No. No.
So it's up to you, but I was going to ask you if you wanted to talk
not about this one. Yeah. No, this one.
Keep it until something, heaven forbid, happens.
I don't want it to go bad. One's going to hurt.
Keep the Nelle updates to the asshole people.
Yeah, well,
the stories of the
it'll kind of actually be on a pause then, because so far, I'm okay with that. I don't want. Yeah, I mean, there've been a couple, and I'm just like, oh my god, you're weird. I don't.
Yeah, but your update is that you don't have any foreseeable
updates. We will see what happens.
Good vibes.
Very good vibes. Very nice. Very kind, and yeah.
I just took a drink and was like, shit, I'm recording. So I'm like, as you're saying good vibes, I'm like slowly lowering my drink down onto the table.
How was your week?
God, I just went blank.
Do you know what? Just going to pause you for a second. Do you know what's funny? During the week, Marley and I talk nonstop, and then it's like on weekends, we barely don't. We barely
I think,
talk.
Do you know what? I kind of, I think it's because we get into the habit of when we used to, it would always be me going, I'll reply later because we're going, doing family stuff.
Yeah, I think it's because you're having family time. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is really nice. Even if I'm not doing stuff like with them, we're still quiet though. And I'm like, It's nice in a way too.
I think so.
I think.
I think so.
I mean, not that I don't
Oh, you
want to talk
answer.
to you or anything, but
you
yeah.
answer when I message, and I answer when
Yeah.
you message. But there's not this.
We're
Yeah.
giving each other space to do our own
Yeah,
things.
well,
I
we have
think.
things to do, and
Yeah. We're not constantly up each other's buttholes. Although can we do talk this week? Oh my god, we should tell the
I just
story.
need to turn off my Bluetooth.
Oh, guys, we have the funniest story.
Gosh,
Hey,
it was funny.
So we didn't record this week, but in not recording, we were still like, we'll still have like a phone chat. So we called each other and we were having a nice little chit chat. And I'm going to say from my point of view, because you obviously know the other point of view, which is equally hilarious. But so from my point of view, we're talking and all of a sudden I thought it was the alien thing happening again. If you've heard our first podcast, we've spoken about this, where it kind of like, it's really staticky sound. It's like, like it sounded so creepy. And mid-conversation, I've heard this and gone, the aliens! They're back! The aliens, oh my God, can you hear me? And then I've gone, can you hear me? And then this voice answers back going, yes, like a really deep voice. And I'm like, you sound like a man. I never forget exactly what he said.
I am a man.
It was like, I am a man. And I've gone, what's going on? And then just cracking up. And I'm like, it's the aliens. It's the aliens. And then it's gone back to you, normal voice, no static. And you've gone, what? Oh, you cut out. And I'm just dying of laughter. And I'm like, did you hear the alien? You sounded so weird. You're like, what? And then we figured out that
but it went back to the car. It went back again because I lost you twice. So what?
Twice. And then we figured out that very quickly, dying of laughter, figured out that the Bluetooth in her car had, like, because her dad had gotten into the car, turned it on, and the Bluetooth had automatically connected her phone. So I'm having a conversation with her dad thinking it's her, and I'm crying, laughing about the fucking aliens and asking her, you sound like a man, and he's just like, what is happening?
I am a man.
I am a man. And we're laughing, and I'm like, oh my God, it is.
I lost her twice. It was twice, and I'm talking and I can see it, but then I noticed that my Bluetooth had connected to my car, and obviously I couldn't tell Marley because she had already connected to the car. So I've brought the phone back, like I've taken the Bluetooth, I've changed the output, and so I'm talking to her again, and then it connects to the car again, and then it disconnects. And I said to my dad, I went, so are you a man? As he came home, he goes, I shit myself. You have to remember my dad, he's very German. Very German. He's sitting on the couch. He sits up and he looks around and he goes, I nearly shit myself. I am, no word of a lie, I am on the floor,
rolling on the floor,
laughing. I am in hysterics. I am crying. He goes, I had no idea what was going on. She's talking about aliens, and then someone tells me that I sound like a man, and I'm like, well, I am a man. Last I knew. And then I said,
can you hear me? Yes, you sound like a man. I am a man.
What? And I'm like, yeah, the phone call disappeared. And he goes, yeah, because I pressed the red button to hang up. He noticed too late that it was a phone call from you. And so every time now when he walks past my room, he goes, hello, Marley.
We were laughing for so long, just before you even got his side of the story.
Even
just
today,
imagining
I
his point of view.
thought about it, And we were driving past the school, and he goes, "Please don't roll around on the carpet like you did at home." He parked somewhere this afternoon where he wasn't supposed to. I said, "Papa, you can't park here." He goes, "I'm German. I can do what I want." And I'm like, "Papa, you can't park here. You'll get fired." He goes, "Fired from what?" He's amazing. Although I did kind of just try to make him sound Russian. I can't do a German accent, which is really funny because not only am I fluent in German, but my entire life I've been around people who speak German and have thick German accents, and I can't do it.
Oh my God, that was our big funny.
That was that was hilarious.
The big funny. Far out.
Much pain in the belly, that one.
Yeah. Just I am a man. What? Nelle, no, you're not.
He was so confused.
Oh my God.
So confused. The way he
I could just imagine, because I was carrying on like an absolute pork chop, screaming, "The aliens are back!"
He's like, "All I wanted to do was reverse." He got in the car and then you started and he just like sat there for a big time.
Existential crisis. Like, what's happening?
Am I losing my mind? Was this treatment not good?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, fucking funny. That was funny.
Oh man. At least he like takes it like he has a laugh too.
Yeah,
about it,
he's still laughing about it too, which is good.
Oh my God. That was so funny.
The pain in the belly. I was crying like sucking. My eyes are tearing up again now, and my nose is running again. But that was good times, man.
That was a good one. Good funny. Oh, what else we were talking about that? Oh yeah, that's right. Because we had a really random, like, we were in sync about something else. I was trying to tell you the story about the high school thing. And that's when it happened. And then after we've like we're laughing our asses off, and I've got, "Look, I didn't finish my story." I just lost it.
You didn't finish. And I completely forgot about it.
But when we first were talking, I was like, something that I think would be cool to talk on the podcast, because I was randomly thinking of it in the morning when I was having a shower, was like school days, like, you know, little stories or whatever, just having a chat about, you know, our past at school. And as I said that to you, you were like, "Oh my God, I had the same thoughts too." So it was just so random, and bloody, we're on sync with a few things lately.
Today too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I wanted to, because I had been for a while now, I wanting to talk about like primary school, and you know, it was so long ago, but you know, friends from primary school. And
yeah, well, I was thinking the same thing, only because, well, mine mixture, I guess, primary and high school, I suppose. And it came up because one of the people that I was really good friends with in school just turned 30, and a friend of his asked a few of our school buddies and that if we wanted to do a video to wish this guy happy birthday. And in doing that, it got me to reconnect and have a bit more of a conversation with someone who I was best friends with in high school. Which was so strange. Like, nothing bad had happened. We just kind of, it's one of those things where you just, for whatever reason, your lives kind of go in different directions, and you kind of stop talking as much, and then that turns into like not talking at all, but you're still like, you know, friendly. There's no bad blood or anything. And it's kind of sad, because she doesn't live that far away from me. So we both grew up Mount Isa, and have also somehow now both in our lives have moved to New South Wales, only like an hour, maybe 2 hours max apart from each other. but we don't see each other.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it's a bit crap that way, but it was still nice to have a little bit of a chat with her. And to be like, yeah, like it'd be great to catch up with you at some point, when COVID's not that
Oh, yeah.
crazy too. So yeah, that's what I guess I was thinking a lot about, because I mean, I don't talk of people that I went to school with. There's only one, a mutual friend of ours, which we mention a lot, Sarah. But she was a grade below me. So in terms of talking to people I went to school with and in classes with, there isn't a great many. And if there anyone that I do still talk to, it's like the once in a blue moon that I'll get a message, or I'll send a message to be like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
So it's strange like that. And we were talking, this girl and I, this friend, we were talking about the school reunion, the high school reunion, and she was like, oh, did you go to that? This is how friggin' of a loner that I was, and how many people I don't talk to. I wasn't even invited.
That's insane, hey. That's shit.
I wasn't invited.
We had our school reunion. I mean, we're coming up to 20 years next. Oh my gosh. The heck?
Wow.
So
this was a 10 for me.
Yeah. Well, when
10-year
we
reunion.
had our 10-year school, we all went obviously to Isa High. They planned the thing for what was it, for Maggie Island, the reunion for Maggie Island. And it's like, that's not where we are. That's not where we went to school.
That's so weird.
What we actually wanted to do was try and see if we could hire out the hall and, that sort of stuff. Like be at the school. Yeah. No.
That's like, to me, that screams the popular kids were like, we want to do it here.
Well, they weren't even the popular kids. They were just like, it's too expensive to travel to Mount Isa. And I'm like, what the heck? That's where we went to school. But yeah. I mean, it was fine. I didn't go. My sister-in-law and other best friend went. And they seemed to have a good time, I suppose, which is good. But I'm still salty. And I'd like to hope that for our 20th, we can maybe do something local.
Yeah. But I mean, in I guess the good thing with me is that I really cannot think of anything worse than going to my school reunion.
Yeah. I don't
not that I don't like any of the people, because I don't have any bad blood towards anybody. It's just that social interaction and doing the whole like, what are you up to
actually,
now?
that's
like,
not something. And then physical appearance.
I could not think of anything worse.
Physical appearance for me is definitely
for me,
a big one. I'm like, it's all right. I'll let all you skinny, fucking sick, happily married with a bunch of kids go. I'm good. I'll just sit back here with my single life.
I mean, I'm not what's the word? Like, I'm not embarrassed about how my life is at the moment.
Oh, no.
At all. I think I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, but not my life.
Yeah, that would be my thing too. But also it's like, I didn't really talk, like, okay, my high school years I'm talking about, like especially in grade 11 and 12 is what I kind of focus on. I was very much a loner. Like, I was the kid that would, any class, if I could, I would sit at the very, very back on top of a table, like on a table, just randomly walk in with my little Converse shoes and my jeans, because fuck wearing school uniform. And just jump on top of the table. And I mean, I would participate. Like, I was at the back of the class still answering every question that I knew the answer to.
Did you behave, or were you were just quiet but behaved?
No, I always behaved. I always behaved, but it was more like, I think from an outsider's point of view, it would have been like, like a teenage rom-com where you've got like the weird outcast girl that's like, I don't give a shit when anyone thinks of me. That was the attitude I probably gave off. But what annoyed me a little bit was I did that so that because it started because I would be in classes where I didn't have my close friends in those classes. So instead of interacting and making new friends, I was like, do you know what? I'm happy to just sit by myself. And then that kind of moved on to the classes that I did have friends in. I was like, let's go sit at the back. And they were like, yeah, cool. So they all sat with me. or we just sat to the side if we weren't allowed to sit at the back. But what annoyed me was that I would sit at the back and then after a while, some of the popular boys in particular would come and do it. And I'm like, can you just piss off?
Yeah.
You're only doing it because you think that it's cool, I guess. And it's like, you don't think I'm cool, but you're still doing it. Like piss off. Yeah, I'm like, this is my spot. You guys have a comfy chair. But, that kind of annoyed me a little bit. And then it moved to, I would go, there's a particular classroom at the school called the film and television room. Really cool setup. They painted one of the walls to be a green screen. And the room had like TVs and bean bags and all of the fun stuff. So for lunch, we could go and eat our lunch in there on the bean bags, having a chat. And that's where I got to start hanging out a little bit more with Sarah, and we became quite close. So, I mean, I wasn't like jumping around into big friend groups, and I was more of a bit of a Nigel. I had 2 other close friends who I was kind of inseparable with, but they were boys. And so I mean, I didn't get bullied or anything. I definitely would have think people would have been like, oh, there goes that fucking weird freaking Nigel girl. But yeah, I just didn't really care.
Yeah.
And
I wish
now
I
thinking of it,
went
I'm
to
like,
school with
how
you.
was I that confident doing that?
I wish I would.
When after school I was like, oh, social anxiety.
I wish I went to school with you. We would have been friends.
Yeah, I feel yeah, we would have been friends. Yeah.
For sure. I would have come up to you and be like,
For
hey,
sure.
be my friend.
But you know what? If people had come up to me, and we've had this talk with Sarah too before, it's like if people had come up to me, I would have very like, yeah, that's fine. You want to chat? We'll have a chat. I don't care. I'll sit with you, whatever. But from her point of view, it was like, this girl intimidates me. So for a while, she was like, oh, I don't know whether I should go and talk to her or not. And I'm like, I hate that I gave off that vibe, but at the same time, I'm glad I did, because it kind of stopped the assholes at the school from talking to me.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I didn't, in primary school, I probably got picked on more than high school, and that was relatively hardly ever. And it was only by one person who, funnily enough, kept calling me a dyke. And she's
Original.
a lesbian. And I'm like,
oh, how the tables
I'm
turn.
not. So that was weird. I remember one time I fainted. I fainted at primary school. Yeah, I fainted a lot in primary school. But I remember I had money and I asked for some chips. And I wanted some chicken chips, like Smith's or something. And I remember giving her the money and then going, no, I'm sorry, I don't want it. And I walked away, and I had a red dress up. I had a white dress with red spots on and green undies. I remember this. And I turned around and I walked off, and the next thing I know is I'm on the ground. Not one teacher, and I came to, not one teacher was with me. Not one fucking person rolled me over to make sure that I was okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then I came to, and I'm like, I went to the teacher and I said, I just fainted and I hit my head. And then of course they're like, oh, we'll take you to the doctor, take you to the sick bay.
The nurse sick bay, yeah.
And then the one girl who kept calling me a dyke was like, you're faking it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll smash my head on the concrete for the fun of it. Like, and they knew that I fainted often, like even in grade 1, I think this was in grade 2. And they didn't even pull my dress down.
In terms of schooling, grade 9 was the worst in terms of bitching in high school. Yeah, just because I think in my eyes, when I was at high schools, they had like one school, but they had it in 2 campuses. So one campus had grades 8 to 9, and then the senior campus was grade 11 and 12. And when I went to school, I don't know, I think it's changed now, isn't it? Year 10s and 10s to 12 are in the same school, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, so when I went to school, junior campus was year 8 to 10, and year 9 was shit because you're in the middle. It's like you're the middle child. So you've got the grade 10s who are all, in your eyes, mature, and they run the show when it comes to where you can sit and eat your lunch and all that
Yeah,
crap.
for sure.
And then you've got the grade 8s who are all wide-eyed and new, and they're so naive, and they're so just want to explore and get around and have fun and meet up with, find new friend groups and, you know, connect that way. And then in grade 9, you're just like, well, we can't fucking sit where we want to sit, which is where the grade 10s have kind of got their territory. And then anywhere we go, there's these little grade 8s that are everywhere around. So you find your little spot, and then you're clashing with the groups that had been established when you were in grade 8.
I'm so glad that when I went to high school, it was 8 to 12.
I feel like it would have been so
It
much better
was.
if it was
And
like that.
and grade
Yeah.
9, like that year at school was my best year.
Oh, really?
Grade 10 sucked ass. Oh, that was just a shit year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like my best years were probably grade 10. Only because in grade 10 we'd all mellowed out and we'd got our friend groups, and we could sit wherever we wanted now.
Which
So
is hilarious because the grade 10's coming.
That's what.
The grade 10's coming into where I work. They are then the babies. You know, they've gone from being the big kids to now the little kids. It's got to be hard for them. And you see that,
it
and
would be.
you definitely see that. And then in grade 11, they'd be kind of feeling the same thing as that you did in grade 9.
Yeah,
I suppose.
I think the good thing is that they would have year 11 camp.
Yeah, that's what they're on
which is where
now.
things really turned around for.
Yeah,
Because
even
when
our
we
cohort.
went from you know, being like king shit in grade 10, going, yeah, we can do what we want. We're the fucking eldest of all the kids here at school.
Yep.
And then going to senior campus and being like, okay, you've got all these grade 12s who are even more mature than we thought.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
we were, or the grades above us were. So the grade 12s have all like mellowed out and they're more focused on their studies because they're like, this is the year that counts.
Yeah.
So you then start to bicker a bit more, and then you get year 11 camp, and oh my
Isn't
god,
it a turning point? They're actually
on
the year 11 camp now.
I hope that it's like how when we went to camp, where they come back and
it was
you
last
find
year.
them.
It was last year, so I hope so, because it and I love the whole what happens on camp stays on camp. It's like an unspoken rule that you do not talk about what happens on camp.
Yeah.
It is that fantastic. See, we had grade 11 camp, and it was great. Our cohort just was so much stronger, or it was just so weird. Like everything had changed, and then
it's amazing the change.
it is.
That
It
happens.
really, really is.
And you mingle. Do you know what I think it is that I know we just said you don't talk about year 11 camp, but I'm not going to give specifics or anything, but our teachers basically didn't let us choose. The only groups we could choose is who we were going to share a cabin with.
Everything else, you are forced.
Everything else, you are put into your own.
And the way that they are now is, you don't get to say no. Yeah. Just give it.
I think that's amazing. You have a bit of a moan about it at the start, and you can't wait to get back to the cabin, or you can't wait to line up for breakfast or whatever with your friend group. But then by the end of it, and it's like only a week or whatever, and by the end of the week, you're like, you've made all these new friendships and bonds, even with people that aren't in your activities groups.
Yeah, like so you're friends with everyone. Yeah,
and it's amazing.
It really, really is. And we had that grade 11 camp, and then earlier on in the year, the next year, when we're the seniors, like we were a good cohort. Like school, when I was at school, and school now is very different. Our school captain, and we're all friends by this stage, he actually passed away around about this time. Actually, I think it's tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that brought us closer as well. But yeah, school. I have the kids at school. They were asking me. They're like, "Is it worth going? Is it gonna be boring? Miss, did you go?" It's like, you were gonna love it. I promise you.
You're gonna absolutely
few
love
days,
it.
you're gonna be. Even maybe the first 2 days, you're gonna be like, "I am so bored. I don't want to do this." I'm over it. But you get halfway through.
Yeah, you'd be a bit shitty because you're not with all of your friends at 100%
And
of the time.
halfway
but
through,
that is the
halfway
magic.
through, you are just it's gonna go so fast, and you're gonna love it.
Do you know what? Did you guys have? I don't know if you had it when you went to camp, but they had a thing with us where they did these warm
Yes,
fuzzies.
I still have mine.
I do. They're next door
Yeah.
to you. One of the boxes.
I still have mine.
But we had the warm fuzzy thing, and I just before we went to camp, I just kind of gone on a break / broken up with my high school
Yeah.
boyfriend, and it was going okay, and then like we were happy just to be friends, and then one day I went down to check my warm fuzzies, and that asshole had put like a cold meanie
Oh, why?
in it, and I was so upset. Like the dickhead, like he has the most, like you look at his handwriting, you're like, I know exactly who that is. Like he's got very particular handwriting.
I hate it.
And it was just saying how I was ugly and unattractive, and
I bet
I
you
was
he's
a
regretting that
shit
now.
person and all that crap, and I think he was regretting it after like one of my favorite teachers kind of noticed I was upset. He read it and he's like seen red immediately, and he knew writing. This is how like noticeable this person's writing was.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, he was my favorite teacher, right? Because he had dreadlocks,
Oh.
and my name's Marley, so he would be like, oh, Bob Marley, and he called me he's like my little Rasta friend, and I'm like, no, yeah, okay.
Oh, that's
so
really
like,
cute.
because my name's Marley. But he's so cool. But yeah, he sat me down and he's like, don't worry about whatever these people say. He was like reassuring me that I wasn't a shit person, and that I whatever they say is just a reflection on him and not on how I actually am and how most people see me, which was so nice to have an adult sit down and have like that conversation
Yeah.
with you and say like, and it was one of those things where it wasn't one of those like all got to watch my language because I'm a teacher. He let his guard down. He's like, don't listen to fucking morons. Like I remember him distinctly, not mincing words about it. And I after that had like a spring in my step. I was so happy, and went on and forgot all about not forgot about it, but just was like, whatever. Say what you want about me. And then a couple of days later, this boy puts a warm fuzzy in my thing saying, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And then I'm like, whatever,
you did mean it, asshole.
Yeah.
I was thankful that because there was one particular girl on camp, I've mentioned her to you before. She was on camp, but she was very intimidating, but there were no cold meanies, and if there were, the teachers got rid of them before we got them. We only ever had reports of
warm fuzzies. Yeah, that's so lovely. I do love that idea.
What was your animal?
Rooster, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. So how did they make you find your squad, like your group?
To be honest, I don't actually recall exactly.
I remember.
I just remember the room that I had to. I was actually, I think we were given like a little a piece of paper or something like that that
really?
had our name on it.
Do you know
and it had like, this is your group name. You are to meet in this area I think it was like every day we had to meet in a particular spot.
Do you know how we found ours?
Oh, how?
They blindfolded us and told us to make the animal noises, and we had our entire cohort in a thing, and so we're walking around, bah, bah.
Why does that sound familiar? Oh my God, is that how we did it? I honestly cannot remember. Hey,
I don't know, but that's what we did. And then every time we found someone, it's like, bah, bah, bah. And then you'd hold, because obviously I was a sheep going by the fact that I'm barring. Yeah, and then we'd have to hold each other and find the rest of our people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Can I just say, if you're a parent, I mean, I guess in Australia mainly, I don't know what other states do. But if you're considering not sending your kid on grade 11 camp, fucking don't be an ass. Send them. Let them
If
go.
you have the means to go, if you have the means to
yeah.
let them go, let them go. I mean, if
I
they
say don't be an ass because my parents very nearly kept me home just because they didn't want me to go.
yeah, that's shit.
Um,
They also go by bus now, not train.
I went, I've actually been to Magnetic Island for camp twice in my life.
Oh.
The first time was when I was in primary school. We went to Magnetic Island for camp, and I'm pretty sure it was grade 7. Could be
Yeah,
wrong.
wow.
6 or 7.
Ours went to Talabudra. I think I never went in primary school. Grade 11 camp was my first camp.
It would have been grade 7. So grade 5 camp was to Gregory, I'm pretty sure, but I didn't go to that one. And then grade 7, I'm pretty sure was to Magnetic Island, which I did go to that, which was fun. Not as fun as grade 11, but yeah, grade 7, I'm pretty sure it was. And that one we went by bus. I remember that. And then grade 7 we went by
Yeah, well, we went by
train.
train in grade
So-
11. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun
Yeah.
just in the cabins. I got motion sickness a little bit. It was my birthday on the boat train. Yeah, on the train. It was my 16th birthday, and then we got off the ship. Now you remember Beanie? Was he there when you were there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
you know his reputation of being a joker and all of that sort of stuff. Well,
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was before we got off the ship. It's not a ship, it's a train. Before we got off the train.
The rail ship. No.
Yeah. Before we got off the train, he told us, or whether it was when we got into, they took us into the mess hall where we, where you have breakfast and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he said about the 9/11, because obviously that's my, 11th of September is my birthday. And we didn't believe him. We were like, whatever. And they turned the TV on, didn't they?
No.
We believed him after
So
that.
you were
And
at camp when 9/11 happened?
I was on the train.
On the train when it happened?
On
Oh
the
my
train.
God.
Yeah. Well, technically,
Oh.
yeah.
That's such an out there thing, though, that if I was told that as a kid, I'd be like, nah, whatever.
Oh, but do you know what? Every plane we saw, we shit ourselves. We didn't know.
That
we
was
didn't
me
know.
too.
We were so
I was
young.
in grade 5 when it happened.
Yeah.
I was in grade
made
5.
me
I came
feel
to school
old.
and everyone was like crowded around a little freaking computer. And I've gone, what's happening? What are you looking at? Kids pics? Like, what is No, they were watching the news thing or something. And yeah, everyone was like, the teachers were like really scared and kind of crying. And then afterwards, yeah, every plane we saw, we were like, oh, they're coming. But yeah, that was crazy. I remember where I was for that. A confused 10-year-old going, what the fuck is happening? Why are you all looking at a computer?
I think it's time for some would you rather. Would you rather be married to someone good looking who doesn't think you're attractive, or be married to someone who's ugly who thinks you're gorgeous?
Oh, ugly who thinks I'm gorgeous. Just because looks aren't a big thing for me, really. I don't really think anyone's ugly.
Oh,
I honestly don't think anyone's ugly. I think that
they're just not for you.
Yeah, there are people that I'm just maybe not into, but I usually judge them on like a personality wise. That's what makes someone ugly, if they've got a really yucky personality. To me, anyway. That's just my opinion. What would you? So yeah, you would
someone who's
go with someone
considered ugly.
Yeah, not conventionally attractive.
All right, what's yours?
Okay. So, what about, would you rather be reborn into the past or the future?
Oh,
It's a hard one, I think.
Future.
Future? Yeah, if I as long as I could choose the past, then I'd go past.
Which is,
but I think future too.
yeah, if I could, no, future.
Future. What if the future's more shit?
You know what?
Existential crisis.
Then I assume that I should not have been born at all.
You get born, you're like, well, this is a mistake.
Would you rather?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Have thought bubbles appear over your head for everyone to see, or for everyone to everyone you know to have access to your search history?
Oh, I think search history, hey.
Yeah, I'm okay with my search history, but I'm also okay with people. No, I'm not. I would.
Do you know, I don't mind. I'm like, do you know what? If you want to judge me for
Yeah, but can you imagine
not
if
knowing how this works?
can you imagine if you had like a thought bubble, during sex, and it was like, can you just hurry?
What's for dinner?
Yeah, like, look at that speck of dust on the wall. Yeah, no, definitely
Oh man.
search history. Go for gold in there.
Yeah. Oh, I just think thought bubble, if like some of the shit that goes through my head
Yeah.
sometimes, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Even I think, what the hell?
Same.
So
That's
I can
normal.
only
Like,
imagine.
sometimes it's like, why did you think that? You don't
Oh my
even
God.
like that,
Do
or
you
you
think the
think
most
that.
fucked up things? Do you have that where you think the most fucked up scenario in your head and you're like, what the hell? Where did that even come
Yeah.
from? I'll be making dinner and all of a sudden I'm imagining something extremely fucking weird. And I'm like, oh, heard that from my
Yeah, and
mind.
it's like, it's so weird because you can't stop the thought, and it's like, stop the thought. But yeah,
It's so strange.
yeah.
Brains. Ugh. Would you rather win the lottery or live in good health to be 200 years old?
What?
Would you rather win the lottery or live to be 200 years old, but you're in good health for the whole 200 years?
Oh, I don't necessarily.
How much in the
Yeah, I
lottery?
don't necessarily want to live for 200 years. I think it would be really,
Well, see, that's my
I
thing.
think it would
Yeah.
be amazing to have seen everything. But no, I think I would, providing the lottery was like a substantial amount, I'm going to go with money. Money, money, money.
See, I thought money, I mean, again, like you, as long as it was, not a lottery pool of like $50.
Yeah.
That would be shit. Or if everyone else won the lottery too. But I would go lottery if it was a substantial, only because like I couldn't imagine a worse thing than living so long that you see everyone you love die
Yeah, that's what I
before
mean.
you. I always think of the Green Mile. Do you remember that movie with Tom Hanks? Please say yes.
Vaguely, no, probably haven't seen it in a long year.
Oh, it's one of my fave movies. Very long, but like that's not to spoil it. I'm sure you've seen it. You'll watch it and be like, oh yeah. But at the end, he's lived so long that he's seen like even his grandkids come to pass, like
Yeah, see, that would be,
pass on, and I'm like, that would be torture.
yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't imagine living with that much grief. So I would go the lottery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the truth, if you won like a substantial amount in the lottery and you got sick for whatever reason, that's, paid treatment there.
Yep.
So not to say treatment, yeah, but anyway, what's your next one?
Would you rather have sex with your cousin in secret, or not have sex with your cousin but everyone thinks you did?
Oh, I'd get second, not have sex with them.
Oh yeah.
It's nasty. People can think what they want, man.
Well,
I
that's
know the
exactly
truth.
right. You know that you didn't do it. It's like, well, more for you if that's what you think, but whatever. I was really attracted to my second cousin when I was in Germany.
Oh, really?
Yes. We both said if we weren't related that we would be a couple. We really clicked. Really freaking clicked. But it was that like our second time of meeting, because obviously I live here and he lives over there. And then we met and it's like, oh, you're so cool, and oh damn, we're family. Our parents were like,
God.
you two are related. Cut it out. Oh, okay.
Oh. Do you know, I had a similar thing in school, right? Not with a cousin or anything, but when I was growing up, our my parents' close friends, we would call them uncle or auntie.
Yeah.
Just that was our thing. And I think it was a lot easier for me too to say uncle so and so or auntie so and so than saying Mr. or Mrs. their last name, because that's what we were told to how to greet.
Yeah, for sure.
Even our friends' parents and that we
Yep,
were told,
same.
you have to call them Mrs. blah, 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 even if they insisted. So it was easier for us with family friends and that to say, auntie, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
but that was really hard because when I went to school, one of said friends, their kids had gone to school for a little bit at the school that I was at, and I had a little bit of a crush on him, not related in any sense, but other kids had heard me say, oh yeah, his dad's uncle blah blah blah, or you know,
yeah.
and they've gone, well, it's your cousin, it's disgusting. I'm like, no, he's not my actual cousin, but it's your uncle. And it's like, not, it was hard to explain to them because I guess they didn't have that with their family.
Yeah.
So it was so frustrating.
Frustrating.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't an actual cousin or anything. So technically there was nothing wrong.
Yeah. No, well, that's right.
We didn't go out a date or anything, but yeah, there's a little story to relate to. My next one. Or another future or past one. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you rather be able to change the future or the past just by imagining it? Which one? Like future or past would you
change the past?
Oh, really? I'd change the future.
I need to fix.
I
need some things fixed in my past.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That
makes sense, yeah.
Have me. I mean, yes, I'm happy at the moment. No.
You're a bit different, like,
yeah.
Yes. Makes sense, yeah.
What would you do?
For me, I'm just like, there's some shit. I've got little regrets in my past, but not enough that I feel like
I think
it.
If it was only because of what I had done, then obviously I would fix the future.
Yeah.
But if it was if I had the ability to change anything, it would be those first 12 years.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense, yeah. All right, your turn now.
Would you would you rather constantly itch or be in excruciating pain for a whole day once a year?
Oh, I'd take the pain, hey.
I would too. I couldn't handle itching. I can't handle mosquitoes.
I can't deal with itches. Was that constant itch, did it say?
Yeah.
Oh, I could think of nothing more torturous than a constant itch that you can't. I mean, when you have an itch and you scratch it and there's that relief, it feels amazing. But to have it constant and you can't get rid of it, it would be like torture for me.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, just
end it.
Do you know what? Did I answer that question?
Yep.
Yeah, I did. Pain.
Yeah.
Pain. Give me the pain. All right. What about this is a bit of a funny one. Fight a chicken to death every time you get into a car, or fight an orangutan to the death once a year, but you get a sword. I feel like that would be a harder question if it didn't have you get a sword.
I don't know.
Yes, I'll fight that orangutan, mate.
I don't know. I'm more inclined to say chicken because then I could eat chicken.
But this is every time you get into a car. So if you go somewhere,
I will just never
go somewhere.
Car again.
Get it? I'll just ride my bike.
I don't think.
Catch me walking everywhere.
I don't think I could kill an orangutan.
Yeah, I don't think I could kill a chicken every day though.
No, true, but that's a lot of chicken in your freezer.
Gav comes home, stop driving.
Yeah, that's a hard one. No, okay, so once a year
if it was without a sword, I'd probably take the chicken because I'm like, fuck, I don't know, orangutan could have some moves, you know. And they can climb a tree.
Yeah.
They just climb up and drop down on me. They're like, instant death for that lady.
See, but a chicken, you could just have chicken. And like, you just limit the amount of times that you. No, that's
get into
not going to work.
Oh, you could. I wonder, you could choose your weapon. You could do it like. What if the chicken was like really like psycho crazy every time? Like, you know, in family, like that, the chicken.
Okay, so I'm going to put a change on this. I'm going to say a sick orangutan. So if the orangutan was going to die, I had a sword, I would hit it in the spot where it died instantly because it was sick, not because
a humane kind of putting it out of its misery. Then, and the same, I feel bad now because orangutans are like
that's why
endangered,
I can't
aren't they?
Do that easily. That's a hard one.
Chickens. We do it that many times, the chicken might become endangered.
Well, I'm thinking so because you get into a car at least
because
twice.
Sada
once
and
to-
chicken shop.
This ain't-
Wish that you didn't have to fight it to the death. Why can't
just
you just
fight it.
catch
So
it?
I'd be like, punch it in its beak and then run away.
You get in there like, back off, chicken. A place to be. Can you imagine though, if you got it like you drive somewhere, right? You get into the car to drive somewhere and you got to fight the fucking chicken, and then you get stuck in traffic and you're like, fuck, I've got to get fuel. My fuel's low, so you got to get out of the
That's
car
what
to
I
put
mean,
fuel in,
yeah.
get back in, fight a fucking chicken.
Yeah, nah.
What if you had lots of errands? You get home, your whole boot's just full of chicken. Oh my god.
Would you rather, might make this my last one,
Mhm.
always have a full battery for your phone or always have a full tank of gas for your car?
Full battery.
Really?
Full battery. Yeah, full battery. I don't fill my tank up anyway, to be honest. I don't. There's something someone said to me once, or I read somewhere, whatever, that were like, I said something about like, make sure that you never fill your tank up. This is particularly for people who are poor, because you never want to be stuck without food but a full tank. So I always kind of go by that mentality that I put enough fuel in my car to get by for the week.
Yep.
And then because that way I know I've got enough money for groceries, and I've done that for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Only because we've been in dire straits financially, so it made sense to just put in what we could afford, really, really budget. So
My mum used to do that.
Yeah.
I would.
And that way, if
these
something
days-
happened and I ran out of fuel, I would have my phone fully charged that I could just call up someone for help.
See, I'm more inclined to go always have a full tank of gas, because obviously if that's the situation, we don't have to pay for it. Like, we've always got
Yeah.
petrol.
Yeah,
So
true, because
you wouldn't.
prices are really shit.
That's right. So it's always full, and most cars have the ability to charge a phone.
Oh, that's so smart. Why am I dumb?
I don't know. That's why I was like, really? You have 3 cars and you want to always have a charged
What
phone?
a dumbass.
Wow.
I retract my answer now.
Okay, so I just put
I would like a
that
full
into
tank of fuel.
perspective. Like, you're not actually paying for this petrol, so
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about
you don't, honey. Yeah. Okay.
What a dumbass. Oh my
All
God.
right, your question's a lucky last.
Oh, this is a bit of I think it's a hard one. All right, so my final
The
question.
same one I'm looking at. I'm going to scream. But okay, go.
Okay, would you rather save 3 of your closest family members or 1,000 people you don't know? This would be a hard superhero question.
I'm going to be extremely selfish and say 3 of my closest family members, because if 1,000 people that I don't know, I'm not going to realize that they're gone. And I know that then means that there are 1,000 family members or other people that will then be affected, but I won't be affected because
But it's not your closest one. To be fair, though, I was looking at this going, oh my God, I would feel horrible afterwards if I knew that I could have saved like 1,000 lives. But at the same time, like all I'm thinking of is like Toby, and I'm like, oh my God, I would the planet could burn as long as he was alive. So
exactly. So I
would not be a good superhero.
Yeah.
Although superheroes often rush off to save, the love of their life, aka Superman going after Lois Lane all the time.
Yeah, it's not like they did on The Boys.
Yeah, true. Fucking hell. Oh, I love The Boys, man. I can't wait till that comes out. Have you seen Jensen's suit for it? If not, I'll send it to you.
No, I have not. But
Yeah, they release pictures. It
Or
looks fun.
would you rather, sorry, I just saw this one. I thought it was a cool one. Lose all your teeth or lose a day of your life every time you kiss someone? The rate I'm going to just lose my teeth.
True. I could get fake ones in.
That's why I'll just lose my teeth.
Because I like kissing.
Yeah.
I like kissing my partner. And that could even be like, go so far as to be like, you know, if you give someone a peck on the cheek or whatever, like,
Yeah.
or I'll, you know, kiss my son on the forehead good night. Like, fuck, that's a whole year of my life gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, mate, take my teeth. They're gone anyway. They're all rotten. No. The tooth fairy's like, yes. Yes. It's so fun. We ace intros and outros, hey. Like,
That's
honestly,
why we need to just have one
they're
recorded.
so professional.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.